What is it? It's a head. What is it?
It's a head.
Yeah.
Taxes and business meetings. I mean, I didn't see you guys come in, but business grown up things. That's what I was doing. Stocks, investments, Roth IRAs, grown ups.
It's my head.
Yes, what you guys just witnessed right there is what a child YouTube channel can be like. And to be honest, that one was more of the tamed ones.
Oh no!
Now for a couple days, I've been reviewing what qualifies as a kid content, and it's just astonishing to me to see what really qualifies as child content. Now, the word child genre or children genre or whatever genre, the kids genre, is very vague. It really comes down to what is the true meaning of a kid-friendly content. And by definition, anything that is suitable for a child, and it would not be too adult for them to understand. Meaning that kid-friendly stuff does not actually mean educational. They may look educational, but doesn't mean that they're actually learning anything from it. So I'll be making a YouTube Kids account, so I'm just showing you what to do and how they introduce us as a parent.
Now you can sign in and create a profile for each kid. If you choose to sign in, you get more controls, whether you want to allow lots of videos or handpick your own. You can also block any videos and channels you don't like. The next time you sign into a device, your kids' profiles will be ready to go. Sign in with a parent's account and we'll get started.
So I'll be signing up as a fake kid. As you can see, that I'm going to be selecting my child's name. It doesn't ask for their first name or last name, which is really good to keep the child safe. So I'm making up legit any other name. So Goo from Foster's Home. And then my age, I'm just typing as 6 as a good content, and August. So as you can see, that it automatically selects what age you want, and then I can choose if I want it to be search on or off. But for this case, let's just say that the parents don't know too much, and we'll leave it as on. So as you can see, that my profile is already set. I can set more if I wanted to, but they do tell you what to do, just so you can report video or just say I don't want them to watch a certain channel. Very important for parents to know this feature, just so they can kind of avoid the air quote bad channels. But other than that, we're ready to go. So as you can see that we have reading as the first choice, which is great. The content is various. It doesn't really filter too much right now, but this is the beginning. Actually, I believe that this is the first page, and I'm looking up food to show you what content are they giving us. So far, so good. This looks pretty good, like standard food, what I would expect from just an everyday thing. So pretend I'm a kid and I want to look up Nerf. So I'm looking up Nerf, and as we can see, there's these two people that already have their own channel dedicated to making Nerfs that's specifically made for kids. And this causes people to want to have more of the Nerf and whatever they're doing. But you can see that they dedicate their whole life to make this kid's channel. And as you can see, on the side view that I'm making sure to see what recommendations I'm getting that makes me want to click it. And keep in mind, I'm pretending that I'm a kid. But once again, you can see all of this is really specified for kids. Now I want to show you how easy it is for a kid to actually change the entire settings, and it's shockingly super easy. As you can see, all it does is it asks me like a challenging question, but if I was a kid, I would just take out my iPhone and just type in the answer. Like, how easy is that? Like, There's been many case studies about children's network to see if it does actually improve on a child's development, but in reality, it's all just kind of hoax. Even the educational ones are still not helpful to a child's growth other than just pure education for themselves. To me, the kids genre is very vague, so there's no specific meaning of what is a kid's content. It's very open-ended for anyone that wants to make money off of this genre. If anything, these child content videos can just be as mindless as a cartoon. Here's a perfect example of what are they doing for the kids? What substance are you guys providing? To eat fast food all the time? I mean, as you can see that they use Minecraft as their selling. Here's another example of what is the purpose of this video. As you can see, it's very mindless. They don't really say anything. All they're doing is just doing weird human interactions, or as you can see, popping each other with pins. And do you think a kid will imitate that? I think a kid would definitely try to imitate whatever they see on an educational cartoon. And I notice as I'm watching all these videos that they just show the same things over and over again. Some of these creators really do want to entertain kids, and that's completely fine. But when we look at the true content itself, it makes me understand why these kids are acting the way that they are. And coming from someone that has family that are under my age, that are still in preschool and all that, I can understand why they actually act like this, because they do watch a lot of YouTube or play these games that they're playing. The most common themes I've noticed with these kids videos are mostly eating sweets such as candy, cupcakes. It's all sugar, sugar, sugar. And let's dive into that. Why are these channels making kids just want to eat sugar? Literally, the videos that I am watching all are sugar. It doesn't matter if it's a professional chef, it's all sugar. Why not introduce them to actual eating habits? Well, in reality, for the algorithm, kids, if you're thinking like a kid, you always think about sugar because it's something that you don't want. So you can Google like sweet treats, candy, and all that, all you want onto YouTube, and it entices you to want sugar and tell your parents, I want sugar, I want sugar. The next common genre is toys. Toys galore. I mean, I know iDubbbz already made a huge video about kid content about the unboxing, but to me, it needs to dive deeper into why do they always produce toys? Once again, this qualifies as child-friendly content, meaning that you can unbox all these kid toys. I mean, shoot, I can make a whole channel dedicated to unboxing, but this makes me understand why kids nowadays are getting bored of their items. Other than us going into a digital era, these kids are getting over their toys in a heartbeat because they always want the newest and latest toy that's out there, and these kids channels are advertising, hey, you should get this right now, or this is so fun, don't you wish that you had this? And this becomes a problem that the toys that they receive are never good enough. I can't say much because I was very much like that. I wasn't really entertained by toys itself. I was actually entertained by video games. And I can understand their position. They want the latest everything. But this comes down to accept what you have and be happy and be grateful for what you have. Another common theme that I notice is people playing video games on these kids channels. And not so much about what games they're playing, because majority of these are like Minecraft, Roblox, or something that is very kid friendly. Even these kids apps, which we'll dive into a little bit more. The video games are not what I'm worried about. What I'm worried about are what the people are saying. Specifically, this girl. Now I'm blocking out everything of her from her YouTube channel and even her face, because I myself do not want to have kids onto my channel just to protect their rights. But I mean, she's a YouTuber, I won't give her name out. However, I'm blocking out the title so you guys can look up. But I've noticed what she is saying is not kid friendly. And she says stuff like kill me, or like, oh darn it, I died again, and like, oh, I hate being dead. Like, to me, yes, you can't avoid the inevitable of death, but saying kill me, to me, does not qualify as kids content. And as you can see with my filter, I specifically said that I'm 4 to 8 years old or whatever. To me, like I said, she's probably 13 or a younger age, so she can kind of say what she wants. And she's at that age where they're kind of dramatic, but I totally understand. But once again, why does that qualify? Does YouTube actually look into the video, making sure that this stuff is safe? Now I understand why kids have these mannerisms, saying words that shouldn't be said, like kill me or go away, I don't love you. And they say these hurtful comments that can actually do more damage than good. This encourages improper behaviors such as saying kill me or saying I don't love you or get away from me. Those aren't normal interactions that we should have for kids, and these YouTubers are encouraging saying those words, and those words are hurtful, especially if you say I don't love you to your parents or your siblings. I just want to make a quick note about this YouTuber. So as you can see, he's playing Hello Neighbor as a mod, which is totally fine. Like I said in just a while ago, that there's nothing wrong with the games that they're playing. But as you can see that they're doing clickbait titles, making you wonder like, oh, what is this content that he's providing? But if I was a kid and I had access to a computer or a phone, I'm able to just Google Hello Neighbor and to find out what's the real game and all the ratings. And as you can see, that the game itself is not child friendly, and it's an adult theme game. So I don't really think that it's a good idea for a kid to play it. Ignore this part because that was like if it was a movie, but the game itself is not a safe game for a kid to just pick up and play. Even though it's modded, it doesn't give them the right to still play the game because it's still not appropriate for my age rating, as I said it, as my own age. So I question, why does YouTube allow this? Even though it's a modded game, the original game is not kid appropriate. Keep in mind, these channels are encouraging them that they have the choice to say that this is kid friendly. And to specify, why are these channels posting onto kids' YouTube? Well, if you guys didn't know, the YouTube process is if you upload a video, you can choose if it's kid friendly specifically. So it's not like, oh, well, I never said that it was kid friendly. Yes, you did, because before you upload the video, you have a choice of, is this kid friendly content? Is this kid content? Because YouTube will not upload your video as a kid's channel if you did not select that option. So obviously you did select that option intending that this is for kids, and all you're doing is kind of poisoning the kids' minds. What it comes down to, why are these channels intentionally making these kids videos even if some of these are kind of mindless or brainless or sugar or advertising for bad habits? It's because of money. Kids content makes you more money. Think about all the ads that you're doing on the kids channel. Even though I can't really tell how many ads that I get, but seeing with my relatives that are younger than me, I see like 4 commercials per video. These kids don't care because all they do is just hit the skip button, but they're still getting ad revenue through that. With me, I have YouTube Red, so I can't see these advertisements regardless if I take off ad block or not. All these kids channels really care about is money. They think of quantity over quality because the more clicks that they get, the more views that they get, the more money that they get. And this comes to my problem with parents exploiting their children for YouTube. Yes, these kids can have a say, they're like, I don't want to, but if the parents are in the video or producing the video or making the kids do the video against their will instead of knowing the true meaning of making a YouTube video, which is whatever you want to do, then it's exploitation. These parents aren't working. These parents are dedicating their time and effort to the kids to make these kids channel friendly videos. And they're making hundreds and thousands of dollars. Do you think that, oh, this investment is towards my kids, or do you think they're kind of abusing it? And with the advertisement, let's not forget that these advertisements are sometimes for their own games. Now let me show you a YouTube video that actually advertises for its own game every time I see one of my relatives play it. And that's Baby Bus Panda or something like that. And they advertise this game on its own banner. Now, as you can see, that this is actually a YouTube video. I did not play this game. I refused to download this game on my iPad. But you can see how they're advertising their own game through YouTube videos plus the advertisements in the YouTube video itself. The game itself is very basic. It's various puzzles and temple run style games, but once again, it's very repetitive. And why are kids watching this video instead of just playing the game itself? I mean, who am I to judge, because I watch streams. However, I'm watching it for the streamers, and YouTube allows this content to be streamed so advertisers can get more, or can advertise, so they can advertise their own game onto a YouTube channel that is guaranteed to make AdSense for YouTube. And it blows my mind that how they can abuse the algorithm and abuse advertising. And as you can see, it's just a standard game, and the person that's playing it is just playing it as an adult, probably the same person in the same company. So it's just shocking to see how they allow this to be on the algorithm for kids. And I want you guys to know that this video itself is over 30 minutes, and think about all the advertisements that this channel can abuse just playing their own game. Like, is this content that we really want our kids to constantly watch, to see a lot of advertisements or a company advertising for itself? And what I mean by games, these phone applications. What's worse about these games is that they have way more advertisements, almost an advertisement after every single minute. And it drives me nuts, because a lot of these advertisements are for more of their games. So they're self-promoting or getting more games for these kids. My issue with the kids games is that it's all driving games that have been stolen from other publishers of the original content. A lot of the kids in the games are actually voiced by adults, so it's these kids that are doing fake kid voices like this. It's, like I said, my main issue is all the advertisements. It's very predatory. It's all for kids to download more of their games. And what gets these kids to download these games? It's YouTube themselves. Because guess what? A lot of YouTube content is actually content that is stolen from a game, and then it's just someone playing the game. Crazy that these people are making money off of this, and all they're doing is uploading what they're playing and advertising for the game. And you would think that YouTube would stop this, but in reality, they're not going to stop this trend, because this is what's getting them money. YouTube runs on AdSense, and this is what advertisers want. Remember, advertisement is not for adults, it's for kids. These games are not educational. I can tell you for a fact that they don't really teach you about anything. A lot of times they're franchised off of a YouTube kids channel or some cheap cartoon, then morphed into a game that's even lower quality. Most of the games are endless. There's no real objective, which I don't blame you. A lot of phone games are like that. Constantly doing a shopping game or a fire truck game, doesn't that really get bored easily? And this is what makes kids want to download more video games. As I stated before, a lot of these games are ripoffs, and they don't really credit the original content creator. For example, a lot of these games are stolen from Subway Surfer. These Subway Surfer is really just Temple Run. And like I said, they just steal the formula, keep it the same, just change out the mascot. That's all they do. I can list maybe 5 kids games that are just Subway Surfer. Now it comes to the question, who is at fault? Is it YouTube themselves, or these kids genre people, or is it the parents? My opinion, both. If we tackle the first issue, the first problematic person, it's the parents. Parents are using YouTube and these toys to kind of get away from the kids, just to relax. Totally understand. As a person that does not have kids but babysat, I understand that being a parent is a 24/7 job. And to keep kids entertained, having YouTube and advertising that it's kid-friendly stuff makes sense to take a break from them. But it's also a parent's responsibility to make sure that the kids are understanding the content that they're receiving is not always valuable information. This kids genre just means kids friendly. They have to understand that it does not mean educational. This stuff won't substitute reading a book to them, or having them read their own books or spell out their own words, or doing educational activities. This content should be treated as any other video game or TV show. Doesn't matter if it's off the YouTube Kids app or the app store that is made for kids. A little video games and little YouTube won't ruin the child's brain. Too much of anything is always a bad thing. So once again, you just have to treat this stuff as a TV show or video game. In my opinion, just supervise what the kid's doing. You can still rest and watch your own TV show, but make sure that you're, watching the kids as well. Just supervising, just say, hey, I don't like this content. And what's beautiful about kids YouTube is that you can actually block certain channels that you do not approve of, so you don't have to see them again. And once again, it is the parent's job to report videos that may be harmful for kids or encourages bad behavior. Remember, you have the power to report it because commenting is not allowed on kids' videos, and you have to understand that reporting goes a long way because YouTube will review the content, making sure that, hey, this isn't kid friendly. And also, false advertising on kids' channels can be led to a report as well. Just make sure that they're advertising, for example, if it's a school video, but all it is just people eating sugar, that counts as false advertising. They're abusing the algorithms, advertising as an educational video, but it's just them eating sugar. I can't criticize your parenting styles, but I can help you inform about the truth about kid-friendly content. And just treat YouTube as it is. Now, as for YouTube, they should really separate educational content versus kid content. Because if the parents want to have an actual educational YouTube channel, they should be allowed to have that option to filter everything. So in my opinion, split the genres. Don't have it mixed together. You can have Caillou, but then you can be watching Looney Tunes the next hour. Both of them are kid content, but one is air quote educational and the other one is mindless cartoons. I don't discourage people using kids content as a way of income. I'm just discouraging YouTube as a platform itself to separate those two so kids can understand the differences between educational content versus kid content. Because in reality, let's be real, these content creators only care about money. Kid content can be misleading, but it's up to the parents and the network to separate these two. And if you don't approve of YouTube, there's probably plenty of other platforms that can give you educational videos or educational games that specifically target for kid-friendly content that is educational. If I want you to take away anything from this video is just make sure that you're supervising your kids if they are watching these YouTube videos. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys next time, and enjoy the rest of your day.